Alright, you guys. Hey, what's up? It's me, Codex, and it's been a really long time in coming that I've been meaning to do this. Like, I told you guys before in a couple of my podcasts, I was like, okay, now's the time that I'm gonna do my anime mid-season first impressions. But then, I won't necessarily call it getting sidetracked, because doing work at my job, like my in real life job, is actually a really big priority. So I was doing that, and now technically the winter arc is actually over, so this will be a complete overview of that. I mean, usually it's in the mid-season, so I guess this will be the first time that'll just be a complete seasonal overview. So without further ado, welcome to the winter arc 2018 seasonal impressions. Now, I was about to say mid-season, but it wouldn't be appropriate to say because the season basically ended. So there was actually a pretty good like mishmash of different genres. There were actually a lot of slice of life genres I thought were really great, and then we had some like quite a few sequels and quite a few branching adaptations in relations to other animes too. Same for like visual novel animations adaptations that I'll get into. So at the very top of the list, it's not exactly too popular, but it was getting press here and there just because of its concept and whatnot, and it was made by the exact same studio that I believe did Guilty Crown, because their visuals, or like their official visuals for their art, seem to have a lot of the same character design. It's called Bellus. It was about like androids living with humans, and just like the whole issue and all the compatibility things, stuff like that. It wasn't considered too popular, I believe, but if you enjoyed Guilty Crown, I don't think it's a really good idea to compare the two, because they're like worlds apart. And a lot of people feel that Bellus was, of course, like a little bit like even lower mid-tier than a lot of the other shows. So I guess you could say if you really like something that's pretty easygoing, you can check that out. And then next, after that, this was actually pretty exciting to see. Cardcaptor Sakura was a really classic anime. I believe that came out in like the 1900s, or like the late 1990s, I believe, or even 2000s. And they said that, okay, now we're gonna have, I think this is a 4th season, and the studio did a really good job of like remaking all the like classic visuals from the show, and it's really cool because it had like outstanding quality. It was also a great homage to the series too, so it was just really cool to see it continue. And if you're really into like magical girls and playing card games, that's definitely something for you then. And the thing that's funny is that, okay, so the next anime I'm going to talk about is like, it's super duper popular, but for the reasons that it probably shouldn't be, but that's just how it is, I guess. Next I'm going to be talking about Citrus. Citrus is actually a Yuri-based visual novel that finally got turned into an anime, and I was just like, oh boy, I found my reasons to watch this show. Girls and girls, that's it. So, yeah, I believe the light novel actually got really popular, so of course, taking that fan base and moving it towards the anime, a lot of people just ran to it, and they're just like, oh boy, it's gonna get lewd up in here. So people have their reasons for watching it, and it's kind of like a classic romance story where it's like two people that have some form of relation to each other. It's like they're stepsisters, and their lives are so different. One kind of acts like a delinquent, and the other one is very mature. So it's kind of like that polarizing relationship where somehow, or I guess not somehow, but like always, in most love stories, opposites do attract. So that's what it's about. And funnily enough, the next show right below it, because I'm going in alphabetical order, is Darling in the Franxx. It's Studio Trigger's newest mech anime, and this had extremely mixed signals going into the season. Like, first, a lot of people were just like, okay, Trigger, now's your time to shine, show me what you got. And I believe the first 3 episodes of the 12 episode series, I was just like, you know what, man, this is getting kind of like a lot of people were just like, I don't know what to think of this. Like, did Studio Trigger really save anime? But of course, when you look at shows sometimes, or depending on what the fan base really prioritizes, sometimes it's not even the story. Sometimes it's just characters, like, let alone the characters can carry the show forward. So, the 2 main girls of the show, 02, and then we have Ichigo. Those 2, it's the brand new waifu war of the season. Yeah, it's gotten like tons of attention because of their personalities and fighting for the protagonist's love, this and that. I actually think it's a pretty cool mech anime. Obviously, it's not for everyone, but if you do like that stuff, Studio Trigger does actually, their quality of work seems to carry over a lot. So, respectively, I actually think it's worth checking out. So, if you're into that stuff, and it's kind of shoot, I forgot the word. It's kind of like it's almost implying that sort of sexual, but you know, it just depends on how you're really thinking about it. You can check it out. And then next, we have another video game based anime called Death March. I'm not gonna say the whole name. I don't want to butcher it again. This was actually quite popular too. It's kind of like the thing people always run, or we always run to this, is that like if there's an anime base of virtual reality in games, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Sword Art Online. And then everybody just thinks, oh no, it's another carbon copy. But I actually think that Death March, well, not necessarily becoming like mainstream level like popular, it actually got a pretty good level of respect. So, you know, following the protagonist, meeting all these other players, building relationships, you know, dealing with all the conflict within the game system, things like that. Yeah, it actually did pretty good. So, I guess if you're into those sort of like concepts, you could check that out too. And next, after this, you know how I was talking about branching adaptations, how like franchise-based adaptations. So Fate is definitely known for having like tons and tons of movies, spin-offs, stuff like that. There's actually 2 Fate related animes in this list that I'm telling you about, and in it, it's called Last Encore, and this one more or less definitely highlights more of Emperor Nero's route, the Roman Emperor. If you guys don't know, that's the red saber. And usually it'd be more focused around like the blue saber, Arthur or Arturia, but this time it's more based on Nero, so it's a different perspective. Shaft did it this time, so Shaft is also really infamous isn't the right word. They're famous for their quality carryover too. Like, they've done a lot of really good shows too. So I recommend, if you're a big fan of the Fate series, check that out too. And also, this will be really easy to explain. Gintama was on their very last season, so that's a super duper popular it is a parody-based anime because of all the commentary that they do here and there, and also referencing so many other shows. So if you guys, of course, are into Gintama, you can keep continuing it. And then next, this is actually quite interesting. I didn't know too much about it until I did like a bit of research. It's called the Ito Junchi collection. It's like a bunch of short stories, horror tales, that were adapted into animes, and each episode covers a different horror tale or horror story. So it's really cool. There's like all this really over-the-top grotesque like art and stuff. All these really like good horror stories. So if you're really into that stuff, I think it is 12 episodes. You can definitely look into that. I honestly never expected horror to be in this season, so that's actually kind of cool. And we are more than, let's see, oh yeah, we're actually more than halfway through. There's about 16 of them. And let's see, I forgot a little bit of info on this bunch. I had it, oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so there's a super duper, like, really popular romantic comedy called Takaki-san, or Takaki-san, and it's like about this boy and this girl. They're in middle school, and the girl is like super duper smug. Like, I kid you not, she teases the main protagonist boy so much, and that's basically what got it really popular because of her character, and that finally got adapted into an anime. So it got so much, like, it got so much good press. So if you guys are really into that visual novel, you should definitely check it out. It's actually like, it's really cute, and as I mentioned before, it's slice of life, so that's cool. I mean, slice of life seems to be pretty popular, and the next show right after it is actually, oh whoops, hold on, there. Okay, so right after Takaki-san, there's another really interesting romantic comedy. I think it's more slice of life based. Let me look at the, oh yeah, it's called After the Rain. And the concept behind this show is that there's this girl who works at a restaurant, and she secretly has a crush on her manager, and her manager is actually like 2 to 3 times her age. So she's only 18 and he's 45. It's one of those they call them age gaps or age gap romance novels, and I was like, that's really interesting. Like, I don't think there's ever been another show where that's really the focus, because usually they're within the same age range. So I thought that was really interesting. The main girl, Akira, she's actually super adorable. When I first started watching the show, I seriously thought it was the same voice actor that does like Yukino or like Miyuki, Sori Hayami. I thought it was her because she's super duper soft spoken, and like having such a soft tone, I just immediately assumed it was her, but it's not. So with that in mind, she makes a really great female protagonist. It's just supposed to be like really cute and really relatable in some senses, because I'm pretty sure some of us may have been in those scenarios before, where we like someone who's like much older than us, but then it's like, that can't be possible. So I think it's really adorable. You should check that out. It's definitely one of my favorite rom-coms this season. So yeah, look at that. And the next, oh yeah, Overlord is continuing. Overlord was really popular. I think last, or maybe was it? Oh yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it's another video game based anime, but this time the protagonist is really powerful. So it's really interesting seeing like what he does with all this power and how he manages it, and what he does in this game world with like all of his servants and stuff, and all of like either like the really funny scenarios that he gets into, or like the really compelling and epic situations that he gets into. So Overlord's cool. Like, I really like Overlord. So that's that. And, okay, so this is gonna be really funny to explain. The next show is a commentary, a parody-based commentary, technically you could say, on the anime industry itself. It's called Pop Team Epic, and Pop Team Epic is about these 2 female characters. Their voice actors switch nearly every episode, and they make parodies of like so many popular like tropes in the anime industry. It's like really funny, and it's definitely like one of the most popular shows this season. It's really funny, it's really cool. I think it's really smart because of like all the marketing. Like, you know, you're making fun of the industry that you're in. So I think that's like some next level meta stuff. The show itself is like super meta. So if you guys really like really smart humor and also kind of dumb too, Pop Team Epic is super duper funny. but definitely check it out. So now I'm coming down to the last 3 shows. Next one's also really easygoing. It's about a girl who likes ramen. She tries to get this other girl likes the main girl, and as I had mentioned, the main girl really likes ramen. So it's like, man, if I start liking ramen, maybe I can start talking to her. So then it's about her going to all these different ramen shops with her friends and trying out the stuff. A food-based anime. I love it. So yeah, it's like super duper mellow. Wasn't exactly too popular, but I just thought it was like kind of fun to check out. So if you guys are really into like food, something easygoing, like slice of life, of course, check it out. Now these last 2 shows are definitely some of the best that I've seen this season. Up next is Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden has had so much build-up this year. Studio Kill Ani did an extremely great job with all of like the animation. It's some of the best animation that I have ever seen. Like some of the still frames alone can be used as like wallpapers. They can be like framed and put on walls. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of like this show really pulls at heartstrings because it's like there's so many things about like love and struggling, depression. Like it goes around the idea of true love so much, and it just really tugs at you. So if you haven't seen it, I'd like really recommend you see Violet Evergarden. Please protect Violet's smile. She's so precious. So yeah. And then finally, to cap this off, this is by far like even more than Violet Evergarden for me, just because of like how relatable it is. The next show is called Yuru Camp. It's like one of the most mellow shows ever. Like ever. There's like no conflict in this show. It's so great. It just makes me smile so much. So basically what it is, there's this girl, her name's Rin, and she loves going camping. And at the very first episode, it just shows her what she does when she sets up for a camp. It's really funny too because even the show teaches you basic knowledge about how to use certain camping equipment, what sort of sleeping bags they use during certain weather, what sort of food they make, and how to make it. So it's really cool. Even the audience themselves learns a little bit, and it's like really wholesome because it's just that saying of cute girls doing cute things. So I really stand behind something like that, or a show that does something like that. And yeah, that's it, guys. Sorry for this being horrendously late. I know, I'm sorry, but I was working. And also, tell me any of the shows that you guys like this season. Be really curious to know. Anyway, you guys, as always, stay honest, and I'll see you next seasonal impressions. Not mid-season, seasonal. Till next time, you guys.